And to talk about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Russia, joining me is Ambassador Manjeev Puri, former senior diplomat. Good afternoon and welcome, Ambassador Puri. Now, in a short while from now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Putin are expected to hold talks. Now, this annual summit, India-Russia annual summit, is happening with a gap of about 3 years. How much has geopolitics transformed since then?
Shubhendu, it's changed a lot. And of course, your own report, when you mentioned the Ukraine conflict, yes. I mean, that's one of them. What's happening in Gaza is the other thing. Let's also remember several other things which is on the part of India, and India coming into its own on the global stage. We've become the largest country in the world. We're the 5th largest economy. And as the Prime Minister said to the Indian diaspora, there is no way that we won't be the 3rd largest economy in the world in the coming years. What a change. And this is about India and its place in the global economy. Of course, as far as the world is concerned, we went through COVID. There have been other sets of issues too. A changing world order, if I may say so. And India certainly is finding its place in that. Without doubt, there is this issue of China becoming the 2nd largest economy and going places. But all in all, the last 3 years have seen a lot happening on the global front.
Ambassador Puri, what do you recognize as the issues that would be in focus when the leaders talk? Energy relationship, we understand, has been of great importance, whether it's oil imports from Russia to India or the engagement in nuclear advancements.
Shubhendu, I have little doubt that bilateral issues will be certainly very important, but so will be global issues and regional issues. On the bilateral issues, without any doubt, issues regarding defense cooperation, strengthening it further, issues regarding nuclear cooperation, strengthening that, finding ways of doing more things. And let me say something, doing things in a manner which add to global good. The Honorable Prime Minister went and saw the Russian atomic exhibition. Now, you know, as we talk in terms of climate change, and that's the big buzzword in the world, we are talking in terms of reducing greenhouse gas emissions, moving away from fossil fuels and nuclear energy, which, you know, found itself tainted the last decades, etc., needs to find a way to come back. The Russians are leaders, so are we doing a lot. And this has been a major area of our cooperation. So I hope to see, and I am quite sure this will be fairly important in terms of our cooperation and in terms of what we'll be discussing. Other than that, of course, without any doubt, global issues, there is no way that there can be no conversation on the issues which are bedeviling the world. But let me also make one other specific point, which is the issue of China. In my understanding, it will certainly be an issue at the leaders. India and Russia have a steadfast and old relationship which has stood the test of time. We are bound together in cooperation in critical areas, very important for both. Just as Russia is a superpower and important for India, India is emerging as one of the largest players in the world and important for Russia as it also finds itself, its place in the world where a lot of people in the Western world are pointing fingers at it. The question of the Russian relationship with China and the fact that it shouldn't have any impact on the India-Russia relationship, and more than that, in terms of any kind of influencing the India-Russia relationship, I think would be particularly important, and I'm sure it would be raised and something that the Russians would be really mindful.
Ambassador Puri, one final question on the aspect of people-to-people connect, which forms a bedrock of close ties between nations. What can we expect this time? A short while ago, Prime Minister engaged with the Indian diaspora in Moscow.
I'm very glad that that's such an auspicious way of starting such an engagement. You know, without people being linked, truly, as far as democracies are concerned, things can't go forward. Let's be a little clear about it. Now, India and Russia have all old links, but the Russians are quintessentially European. Their lean out there is something that is known. But Shubhendu, you're a young man. I belong to a slightly different era of the time of Raj Kapoor films in Moscow, where, you know, Meri Lal Topi Rusi, that's the kind of stuff. We must engage with the Russians. Right. And it's very important to have our people there, their people coming here, I'm glad to see newer Russian companies in areas of technology, Russian banking, etc., opening up their offices in India as the Indian economy grows. But we also need to do things in terms of the cultural connect, whether it's yoga, whether it's dance and music, each of these things. Once upon a time, in about 20 years back, these used to be at a great height. But we need to try and take these back again to the same level, given where India is, where Russia is, and the global acceptability of the Indian way of doing things.
Ambassador Puri, thank you for joining us on the News Hour. Always a pleasure having you.